Welcome to another episode of The Diplomats, brought to you by diplomacybriefing.com. You join us for our continued coverage of the Nexus Season 7 press tournament finals. I'm Wardy. I'm joined once again by Mr. Eric Grinnell, who's no longer on the beach. How are you doing, Eric?
You just covered it. I'm no longer on the beach. I'm doing my best to get by.
Very good. So where are you now then, if not in Florida?
Back home in Kentucky, the beautiful land of the bluegrass.
You all eat fried chicken over there?
How we invented it. Little town called London, Kentucky. You can look it up.
I think you'll find that London's in England, my friend. But
we got a Paris too, so we got all kinds of beautiful cities in this state.
Lovely. It's like a bigger Las Vegas than maybe.
Our next show, I'll have a picture of the Eiffel Tower they have in the middle of downtown Paris, Kentucky. You'll get a chuckle out of it.
Very good. Just down the road here, we have, because we've got the Duke of Westminster a couple of miles away, we have a mini Big Ben, which is quite nice. So fall 1901 has happened, and I don't know. I don't know how you're feeling, Eric, but I feel a little bit embarrassed.
I'm really, really upset at these fine gentlemen for making me look bad. I do that well enough all on my own. There's a lot of stuff here I could not have been more wrong about. As a matter of fact, we got some commentary from the past on that, didn't we?
We do.
I love this. It isn't so much that Eric and Wardy are ignorant. It's just that they know so many things that aren't so. And for lack of one word, that's a true Ronald Reagan quote. And my promise to you is for the next show, I'll find you a Margaret Thatcher quote. Okay?
Oh, joy. I dread to think what you might say about me. But yeah, we were wrong. We were wrong about so many things. We were so wrong. We're even more wrong than Eric's politics. Well, maybe not quite that wrong, but we were pretty wrong.
This is just wrong. I mean, you're trying to get into the realm of, I'm sure in your mind, aberrant. And trust me, don't get me started. No, we are being watched today by literally tens of people, and none of them want to hear Eric Grinnell talk about politics.
Wait, you opened with a Reagan quest. What am I going to do?
You know what? It was too fitting. I had to use it. I had to use it because, brother, we were so wrong. We were bordering on ignorant.
So many things. Yeah, Ed didn't cover Munich, which we thought he would. Jordan didn't convoy to Picardy. Went for Brest.
By the way, I owe you
Jordan or Krill.
Jordan didn't go to Picardy. I owe you $1.32, and I'm gonna buy that in yen, and I'm gonna send it to you in a necklace. Okay?
I'll just take a quid. I'll just take it. We don't.
Well, you know what? It kind of is funny since Brexit, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. I want to be funny. I'll send you a quid.
I thought Italy would turn around and leave Marseille alone. That doesn't happen. Clearly not a Lepanto. Ed, and I said to you, I was like, Ed barely ever bounces Sweden, and he bounced Sweden. Spencer sent the fleet to Romania, which got there because John didn't bounce it, and Jordan didn't pick up Belgium like was mooted as well. But hey, Karthik supported himself to Greece, so there's always that.
There is always that. Karthik supported himself to Greece. We were right about that.
Anything else? We're just wrong about so many.
Ed's not a creative thinker. We're still right on that. I made a comment that they were all very, very skilled, very capable players. I can neither confirm nor deny, Your Honor.
More information required.
We're gonna need to do a lot more data collection on that one. Yeah.
So yeah, here are the moves. Oh gosh, where do we want to be? Shall we start in the East?
In the East, Turkey is a really poor liar. Okay, this whole Bulgaria to Armenia. I could just hear him in the diplomacy phase trying to tell Russia, I'm sorry, I meant to keep that promise to you and bounce myself in Armenia, and I misordered. I'm sorry. And
why would you ever want to do that anyway? That's not clear to me.
Plausible deniability. He's being greedy. He wants Sev, and he thinks this is the best way to get it. I think
why not bounce Romania?
Well, if he bounces Romania, I could be totally wrong. That whole thing with Bulgaria could be a complete misorder. It could be. All right. It just looks like someone trying to be cagey. And I tell people all the time, you're not half as clever as you think you are. It's right up there with you can't read a map. All right.
But I'm looking at this and wondering whether this is almost like a double bluff, whether this is misdirection or yet more misdirection by the RT, because by allowing Russia to get into Romania in the fall, now in the spring there's an opportunity to convoy Smyrna with support into Romania to blow up that fleet,
which is one of my favorite moves. Yeah. I love to pop that worthless fleet and get it turned into an army. The only person that fleet is any good against is Turkey. So if you want to have an RT, find a way to get rid of that fleet. We're spending a lot of time trying to figure out what Turkey was trying to accomplish here. And, maybe we'll find out in after action reports. I think that without talking to the player, I don't think we'll be able to figure that out, but I'm gonna go out here. I'm gonna be just as bold as I was about that convoy to Picardy. I know exactly what Turkey just accomplished. He created an AR.
Okay.
I am pretty certain that Austria and Russia are going to cooperate now to kick Turkey out of Bulgaria. And we haven't even seen builds yet, and that's where I'm going.
So you don't like this for Turkey then? However, I mean, Italy sending Ionian to Tunis, that's got to make it Turkey feel kind of good, surely.
If I'm Turkey, I'm very happy. I think it's hilarious that Italy. This is from that list of things we did wrong. I spent a lot of my commentary after the spring season going, that move to Piedmont doesn't make any sense unless he's going to go to Tunis and build a fleet. And lo and behold, he went to Tunis. Having gone to Tunis, it's almost a certainty now that he's going to build a fleet. I don't like Italy's move to Rome. It keeps Austria happy. It keeps Austria very, very happy, but it's a weak move because, he doesn't have the option in the spring of doing anything useful with that army whatsoever. He can't go to Tyrolia. He can't cover Piedmont as Piedmont rolls through Marseille. The only advantage to it is it makes Austria happy. That's the only reason to do that move to Rome. I'm not a big fan of that, but I'm a bigger fan of Apulia to Rome than I am of Bulgaria to Armenia. That was just nonsensical. I don't like that at all. And these are all very good, very capable players. That's kind of a smart ass move, and I think he's going to be punished for it.
Okay.
Let's see. Ed did bounce Sweden. He did take Holland. He hasn't learned a thing. He loves to lose Munich in 1901. Everyone who plays Ed Sullivan, take note. Walk into Munich whenever you want. He doesn't protect it. He doesn't protect it.
So yeah,
and, if you've ever played Germany and had France walk into Munich in fall 1901, that's the end of your game. Unless you've got the best alliance structure ever, you never recover from it. I said Burgundy to Munich, say, all right, fine, kick me out. Then I retreat wherever the board tells me to retreat. My favorite place to retreat from Munich in spring 02 is to Silesia. You're screwed the rest of the game. You got to cover Berlin. You got to cover Munich the rest of the game. So you're either going to die or you're going to give me something I want to get rid of me.
I mean, I suppose if Burgundy had gone into Munich and he's getting two builds, and that doesn't seem bad.
No, he can't go into Munich and get two builds. You can't go into Munich and get two builds.
Well, he's got Denmark.
It's like the Portugal and Brest conversation from last season. If Burgundy goes to Munich Marseille can't go to Spain unless he wants to risk Piedmont walking in. So if he'd gone to Spain and to Munich,
sure.
he'd still have one build.
But I mean, from a German defensive perspective, I mean, but he's got to. If England and France have been working in tandem, and it's and England at the same time as France goes into Munich, England bounces Holland, then that's really bad for Germany. But he must feel pretty confident that he's got England on side here, right?
That army, Piedmont, made Word of Bell a lot more safe of a move. I'd have probably done the same thing. You talk about England and France coordinating. It is now within the realm of possibility that France and England are having a fake fight. This bounce in Brest, that's low-level play. That's low level play. So either this is a staged bounce, or you got some funky diplomacy going on. And I wanted to know. So, I'm a former cryptologist. I could do some sneaky stuff. So I went in and I put a tracer on Jordan's computer. I happen to have exclusive footage of the diplomacy between England and France leading into Fall 01. Do you want to play that for us, please?
I will play this clip for you now.
I'm pretty sure this is exactly what went down.
This is a good scoop. That was a great find, great scoop.
Yeah. And you know what? That's worth showing anyway, because at some point or another, that happens in more diplomacy games than not. I mean, it's called the downward spiral, and it's you second guess yourself, and you end up with what happened to Jordan. You end up with a great open that gets destroyed by a bouncing Brest, and now England is very much up against the wall. He's got some serious problems, and we'll talk about those coming up.
Yeah, I mean, if this wasn't arranged, this is not really nicely sniffed out by Greg. I mean, this turn could have gone so wrong for him, because that was a horrible spring 01. He's got to be feeling, I mean, still under the cosh, but he's got to be feeling a little bit better after this, right?
Well, if you ask 10 skilled diplomacy players who they want to be right now, France or Germany, 9 of them want to be France, and 1 of them's drunk. Right.
Okay. So England's slowing down, as you say, after that.
Well, that bounce really kills him too, because not only did he not get the dot, now France is going to build a fleet in Brest. Anticipating France building a fleet in Brest, England now has to build a fleet in London so that London can support English Channel. All right. And that army in Wales is now worthless. He can't convoy it over.
Okay. I mean, he's got to be looking over his shoulder at Liverpool.
Yeah, exactly. Because if London has to support England, if he convoys Wales over and he somehow makes it, and Mayo goes to Nao or to Irish, that England. England's got other problems too. He's got one mobile unit. It's the fleet in Norway.
North Sea is empty, of course, now.
North Sea is empty. Now, it's looking like a strong EG here. So England can ask Germany for the bounce in the spring, and then they can support whoever is getting Sweden into it in the fall. But, Jordan doesn't have any option to do anything in the spring with that fleet in Norway. If he does anything besides demand Eric Grinnell style, drop some F-bombs in there if you have to get it. You got to do a bounce in North Sea in the spring. You have to do a bounce in North Sea in the spring. Boy, is that everything? We ready to go to builds? Oh, wait, let's anticipate builds, shall we? Moscow, okay. Russia's got to build an army in Moscow. Turkey's got to build a fleet in Cannes. Austria's got to build 2 armies. Italy's going to build a fleet in Naples. France is going to build a fleet in Brest. England's going to build a fleet in London. Germany has 3 builds. One of them has to be an army in Munich. And then, he's got the only builds here that are questionable at all. He could build a fleet in Kiel, or he could build a fleet in Berlin. I think that building 3 armies here is a mistake. I don't think he needs 3 armies right now. I think the biggest reason that you build a fleet right now isn't just to secure Sweden. The biggest reason Germany builds a fleet in a situation like this is it's one opportunity in an EG to build a fleet without England freaking out.
Yeah, if you leave it till later, then that chance is gone, right?
Yeah. So and you use that fleet build to take Sweden. Then you can do all kinds of funky things with Skagerrak and Gulf of Bothnia, and it helps you with Norway and with St. Pete. You're in a situation for North. Germany's got all kinds of options here. The advantage of building in Kiel versus building the fleet in Berlin is Kiel can go to Baltic, and then Army Berlin and Army Munich can go to Prussia and Silesia. All right. If this EG is as strong as it looks, Holland could drop down to Ruhr. He's got lots of options. Lots of options. I really like Ed's position here. It would take a real concerted effort by him to screw it up, at least in the short term. In the long term, anyone could screw anything up. But in the short term, for Germany to lose his advantage in the short term, it's going to take some effort. It's going to take some effort. I don't think Turkey has made it possible for Russia to coordinate with Austria. Italy seems focused on France. So I like Germany's position very much here. Let's see what builds bring us, shall we?
I can't help but think that this is shenanigans from Russia and Turkey. I don't know quite what it is. But if I were France, I'd be screaming for a northern build from Russia, probably Fleet North Coast. Don't know if he's going to get it, but that would be interesting.
If Russia doesn't build in Moscow, he's going to lose Sev and Rum next year. He's got to build in
It depends on the relationship with Turkey. I mean, it's a big risk. It depends how much they are. Well, they are in, I guess. But shall we?
Here's a British saying for you: if and buts were fruits and nuts, we'd all have a happy Christmas, right? No, you got to build Army Moscow. Gotta, no question. No question. If he doesn't build Army Moscow on this board right here, right now, this position this season, I'm going to give him a very special award. Army Moscow.
Army Moscow, you're right. Fleet
Budapest,
London,
Army
you're
Trieste,
right.
Fleet Naples, Fleet Brest, Fleet London. Well,
Turkey offering himself a little bit of flexibility with the Con instead of Smyrna. But I think the biggest one here is the German wave and no fleet.
Yeah. I think maybe you and I got inside Ed's head, picking on him, saying he wasn't good at thinking outside the box. He wanted to do something creative. He doesn't realize he just proved our point, because that's not creative thinking. He's going to regret that. He's going to regret that. You can't waive builds in 1901. You can't. You don't even know who your ally is yet. You're playing against very, very good players. I mean, they are such good players. They can count to 6. They know how many dots you have, whether you build a unit.
I mean, I don't mind the wave so much as in the fact that if I were to do it, I'd want that kill unit to be a fleet. I mean, I suppose he is going to go into Ruhr and try and break down Burgundy and what have you. But no, I suppose Holland could have done that if you're that much trusting of England. This way, you can't make a move east against Russia.
When I look at these builds, I wonder what's Ed trying to do. Okay, and Ed is a wuss. All right, he's got Russia. he's got Russia saying, well, here's what I want to be happy. And he's got England saying, here's what I want to be happy. And he wants them all to be happy. But you look at his builds, all right? You look at his builds and you say, okay, fine. He wanted to wave a build. What's his next build? What is Ed's next build? All right. If he wanted to take Sweden, he'd have built a fleet in Berlin. Okay. So he's not going for Sweden. If I had to guess what Ed was trying to accomplish with these builds, I think he's trying to lull England into complacency. I think Denmark is going to move to North Sea, and in the fall, he's going to convoy Holland to Edinburgh. That's my guess. That's my guess.
That would be a big sort of early switcheroo, wouldn't it, from Ed?
You know, he didn't do anything pro-England last turn. He didn't do anything pro-England in 1901. Nothing.
No, that's true. But it looked like England's moves makes him seem confident that he got Ed. And I know. Even when we were talking during our semi-final, Ewok and I, that he wasn't overly excited about the prospect of being on a finals board with both Ed and Jordan, and they turned out to be not only each other's neighbors but his neighbors.
Ed likes to win, okay, and Ed likes to be clever. All right, and playing a head game, getting a head fake in, and getting England to either support me into Sweden or to take my support into Sweden while I walk in the north, so that I've got an unmitigated cut. So that I've got an uncuttable convoy into Edinburgh. As a matter of fact, he's probably promising Jordan Sweden, would be my guess. He's promising Jordan Sweden. So he's got Norway moving to Sweden, and he's going to move to North Sea. And you know, it's all about what Russia is going to do at this point. If Jordan tries a move to Sweden here, or wastes a move supporting Denmark to Sweden, it's a real big mistake here. Remember what I said at fall? Jordan's got no option. He has to demand a bounce in North Sea. Now it's even more true. It's even more true now than it was before, because Germany just waived a build that would have guaranteed him a build for 1902.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So unless Germany wants to jump out to 6 and then stall the car, I think he's going to go to North Sea here, and that's not the only problem that Jordan can have. Did you take that slide that I sent you that was talking about the trouble that Jordan could be in right now because of that bounce?
Let me skip forward a touch. Well, here's your prediction for the whole board.
Get to the other one.
Zoom in.
This one. I don't expect all those hold orders, okay? Because there's a lot of
Austria busy doing nothing. Yeah.
There's a lot of maybes with the rest of the board. But this is what Ed and Greg could do to Jordan right now. And if Greg has the ability to talk Italy into leaving him alone, he can move into Paris and Gascony so that he can take Brest back. He moves into Irish. And Ed moves into North Sea. Now you're looking at convoy to Eddie.
Liverpool and Eddie would be guaranteed.
Well, not for 1902. You couldn't guarantee Liverpool until 1903. More than likely, if you do these moves and Jordan does another convoy to Brest, you'll be using Mayo to cut English so that you can retake Brest from Gascony. Then Mayo is in position to turn around and take Portugal next year. And then Irish, you got the same situation. You got a guessing game. Do you go to Liverpool and do another bounce, or do you assume he's going to do something with it, let him cover it, and just move to Wales? Jordan does not have enough units at this point to cover all his exposures, so he is now counting on goodwill and friendship. And this is the finals board of the Nexus tournament. And if you find yourself in 1902 already dependent on goodwill and friendship, you're probably not going to win this game.
You'll need a bit of it at some point or other.
Yeah. All right. Can you go back to the other slide? All right. So any of those other builds look like something you want to talk about? I think they're everything I predicted, right?
Yeah, I can't remember what you said about Turkey, but you know, it's a fleet. It still makes me feel like there's something going on here.
There's not a fleet in Ionian, so you don't got to worry about East Med. So there's absolutely zero reason to build Fleet Smyrna. So it was going to be Fleet Khan. It was going to be Fleet.
But it doesn't. It's not going to go to Black Sea, is it?
No, not at all.
So I can't help but think this is meant. This is meant for the Med, but that my feeling is that R&T have been arranging whatever this is. Obviously, I'll be wrong, but it feels like it somehow.
I would guess that Turkey is hoping he has an AT. He's only got one build. Black is worthless for supporting Bulgaria because it could be cut. Moscow is going to support Sev. Sev support to Rum is dubious. It's going to be cut. Army Armenia has nothing else to do. So Fleet Khan has, if you're not 100% sure of Austria, Fleet Khan has to support Bull. So
yeah, that's fair.
So the only thing you can do here is Turkey very much is hoping that this Italian aggression against France is full-throated and legitimate. If Italy sends either of those fleets east to help Austria against Turkey, with Turkey having alienated, I believe Turkey alienated Russia. You think Turkey and Russia are playing games? I don't think they're playing games. Do they have the ability to reconcile? Of course they have the ability to reconcile. As long as they're both still alive, they have the ability to reconcile. As long as neither one has actually taken a dot from the other, they definitely have the ability to reconcile. But right now, if I'm Russia, I'm looking at Turkey saying, "Show me. Don't tell me nothing." Excuse me. See, I'm getting better. Don't tell me nothing. Show me, because I don't believe you.
So what did you say? What did you put here in your with your Italian fleets? Okay, yeah, both going west.
So yeah, if you want to talk about that, let's go back. We'll talk about those later. Let's go back. Let's talk about everything else first. So yeah, I want to double back and remember my prediction last season and how wrong I was. My one guaranteed prediction, other than Karthik is going to use Serbia to support Albania to Greece. My only other sure thing was Jordan's going to convoy to Picardy. All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it again. Ed is going to regret waiving that build. You don't waive builds when you don't even know who your allies are, and you do not know who your allies are. You can have all kinds of hopes and dreams, but you don't know Jack yet. I don't think you waive a build this early. I do not think you waive a build this early. Definitely not.
Well, who's going to attack him though? It's hard to see where he's going to get any trouble from anytime soon. Russia's busy. England and France are butting heads.
These are all very, very good players. And when you make yourself vulnerable, you do something about it. because Ed's at 6 and he's got 5 units. Okay. You look at him, you go, what the heck is he doing? What the heck is he doing? Well, I don't know what he's doing, but I know he's got something planned. Okay. And if he's got something planned, he's going to be dropping 2 next year. Someone's going to do something. Someone's going to do something to take away the option of him building 2 next year. Austria, Italy can hit him real hard. If Russia does indeed have something going on with Turkey, or he's in effort mode early, Russia can help Austria. But Austria's got a happy situation down there in the south. He's either going to be able to write the orders for Turkey or for Russia. So if he's got his 2 to 3 units down there, and he's able to write either Russia's unit or Turkey's unit orders, he's got 2 armies to send in Tyrolia and Bohemia.
Yeah, I mean, because he's got no trouble from Italy either. So he's yeah. This is not a game where Austria is dead by 1903. End of 1903.
No, he's good until at least 1905.
But yeah, interesting.
So let's. I think we're supposed to grade these guys, right? That's Ed's style. He grades these guys.
Okay, yeah.
All right. As a law school graduate, I believe in grading on the curve. Okay. All right. When I watch these shows, they grade these things, and you get multiple A's, a bunch of B's, and maybe a C. You know, and if someone's boned it, they get an F. But if not, they're another C. I don't believe in that. All right. Especially in 1901. There's not that many opportunities for creative play, although we have seen some. Okay. I think at the end of 1901, at the end of 1901, you've got someone with an exceptional position, someone with a bad position, and a bunch of average positions. So law school is graded on a curve. I'm going to grade this board on a curve. Okay. It's going to have 3 C's, a B, a D, an A, and an F. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And I was anticipating this, and I was kind of talking in my head. I was going to give the A to Ed. Okay. I'm not giving the A to Ed anymore. Waving that build
because of the wave.
Waving that build was a big mistake.
He's waved goodbye to his A grade.
I'm dropping Ed down to a C. Don't wave builds in 1901, Ed. Don't wave builds in 1901. And when France forces Burgundy, you cover Munich, Ed. Pay attention. And I'm giving a C. I think that waving that build was a huge and tragic mistake. All right. I'm really going to struggle here. I don't think anyone here deserves an F. I think Jordan and Russia both deserve Ds. I think they both have some real serious challenges to overcome. Russia is very much stalled and does not have the ability to get a single build here without the help of somebody. Go ahead and give Russia the D and give Jordan the F, because I'm pretty sure that he's not going to take my advice. He's not going to bounce in North Sea. He needs a build badly so he can drop in Liverpool. He's going to send Norway to Sweden in the spring. And Ed's going to walk into North Sea.
You heard it here first, folks.
I'm giving Jordan the F. All right. So I'm giving a C to Turkey and a C to France. It's about what you'd expect. All right.
A C to France. A C to France seems, I don't know, unfair. But
he's already got a build.
But maybe diplomatically not so much, because he's
already got a build in his pocket. He's going to get Portugal.
Yeah. This is true.
He's going to get Portugal, and he's probably not. Well, if he does the moves that I'm going to recommend that he makes, he's guaranteed to gain Portugal and guaranteed to not lose any dots. All right. And we'll talk about we'll talk about France, right? This is why I grade him as a C. All right. Italy's coming for him full bore, right? England is going to hold an English channel. He's not going to move Wales because he's got to stay. He's got to stay in Liverpool. All right. He doesn't know what's going on in the north. He needs to be sure. I bank on London supports English Channel hold. Okay. That lets me use Mayo and send it to West Med. Okay. Most likely bouncing Tunis. Okay. And if I go to West Med and then he doesn't send Tunis to West Med and then he's all angry because I'm sitting in West Med, I look at him and say, hey man, F you. Get out of Piedmont. So yeah, so I would use England being pinned up against the wall to get double use out of my units. I'd bounce West Med in the spring. I'd take Portugal in the fall. I'd bounce myself in Marseille so that Germany can't walk into Burgundy on me. If Germany forces Burgundy, then I'm retreating to Paris. And in the fall, I send Spain to Marseille. If Germany and Italy work together against that, you know what? If you get three-wayed by France, if you're France and you get three-wayed by England, Germany, and Italy, you're going to lose a dot by 1902. It's just going to happen. So yeah, I don't think, there's two things to grade here. How have you played and what's your position? Okay. We can talk about how good his position is or isn't, but Greg couldn't have played his possession any better. So
and yet only a C.
Only a C. Yeah, because position matters.
So who gets A?
Austria for sure. Top notch play by Karthik.
Karthik.
Turkey and Russia are scattered, and even if they're coordinating, they're not doing it well, and they're not doing it wisely, and they're not doing it efficiently. Meanwhile, Italy has left you alone. He's going to continue to leave you alone. And it could turn on him on a dime. Look at Italy's position. He could move Piedmont to Tyrolia, Rome to Venice, Naples to Apulia, Tunis to Ionian, right? And then next turn, we'll be talking about how screwed Austria is. Okay?
It can happen, right? But for now, he's got five.
But remember what I said. I'm here to admire and learn from people who handle relationships very, very well. Karthik manages relationships very, very well. He's very good at conveying a vision of the board. Okay. I don't think Italy's going to betray him right now. I don't. The only question, if I were a betting man, and I am, okay, we'll talk about my trips to Vegas later. Okay. I got to do something since I can't go to diplomacy conventions. But the question here is Italy going to send both fleets against France, or is he going to leave one in reserve to help Austria? And if Italy leaves a fleet in reserve to help Austria is in the best shape by a mile. So Karthik gets the A, Phil gets the B. I think the AI is doing their thing very, very well. France, Germany, and Turkey, you guys get the C. You guys get the C's. And you know what? I'm going to take that F off the table. No one here's got an F. England and Russia, you both got a D-.
Very diplomatic of you.
Well, nailed it, man. I'm on a resurrection tour. So it's a redemption tour.
Yeah, we shall come to that.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
You mentioned there about the AI. I mean, they're not battling, but they don't seem to be working particularly in tandem with one another.
No, not at all. But between the two of them, if they stick together by the end of 1902, they're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. somewhere between 11 and 13 dots under their control, and even more under their hammer. No, I think Austria and Italy are playing very, very well. This is the Nexus meta. The AI is the Nexus meta, and
but that meta it normally goes after Turkey, though, right?
I think I don't know that they haven't. I think Turkey is still the most likely target here. Russia is more disposed to help give Turkish dots to Austria than Turkey is predisposed to give Russian dots to Austria. Okay, Turkey wants those dots for himself. Russia has more to offer Austria than Turkey does. And Italy wants Turkey dead anyway. Because as long as you can keep Austria from building fleets, if you neutralize Turkey, Italy's going to have a very, very good game. That's what I predict. That's what I see going on. So now we can go to my prediction slide, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, in fact, let's have a look at what a few of the comments have been actually about this fall and winter season.
You did it to me again. I never saw this slide.
Yeah, sorry. We were halfway through doing it. We had some technical issues, and I never showed you what I'd harvested. So Sabi, 3-build German is spicy. This is before we only got 2 builds out of Germany. No idea why Turkey didn't hit Rum. I think we've covered that. England could have convoyed to Picardy, as you said, and let France come abreast to stop a future Northern Fleet build. Now Brest is open for a build. They don't have a fleet in Tunis. Mine Dodge.
Wait. Sabi, this isn't funny. Knock it off. Stop agreeing with me. It's not cool.
Like two peas in a pod. Who'd have thunk?
It makes you look worse than it does me, Sabi. It makes you look worse than it does me. Stop agreeing with me. It looks poorly on you. You're going to be talking about Hitler eyes next, okay? But yeah, once again, I agree with Sabi 100%. I don't like the fleet in Tunis if it's eastward bound. If it's westward bound, it's smart.
Yeah,
and I think it's
westward
bound, and I think that's why Italy's still in Piedmont. So at least I didn't agree with Sabi on everything. Thank
Mind Dodge says, I suspect Turkey wanted to try some hidden juggernaut strategy, but Russia didn't trust it. If you're properly fighting Russia, I see no reason not to move to Romania. I've got this sort of feeling as well, but I think it might still be on, because I kind of wonder if Russia is still on board, and that's why Romania wasn't hit.
You may very well be right, but here's what I'm going to say about that.
It'd be a first time.
Over the years, the most feared alliance on the board is RT. It's always been the juggernaut. They don't call any other alliance a juggernaut for a reason. Okay? The RT was always the most powerful alliance. And this new AI meta has dramatically weakened the RT.
Yeah.
You know, Russia's now a central power, and that's not a good place to be. And Turkey, without a solid Russian ally against an AI, never gets out of the corner.
Yeah.
So, so that having been said, here is my point. Even if you're right, and Russia and Turkey are still coordinating, they're playing games. And they're playing games in such a way that they're moving inefficiently. And Krill and Karthik are good players. And if you give up tempo to Karthik and Krill, you're not going to get it back.
That's true, but the counter argument to that is that it's not just a tactical game. If you can lull the other players into thinking that they're coming up with a tactical solution to the wrong problem, then you might then get the up. I don't know if this is what we've got yet or not, but Seren has an answer, though, to this this Romania thing. She says John left Rum because he knew Ed was bouncing Sweden and decided a one-build Tarsia denied by only Ed was more useful than a no-build Tarsia denied by both him and Ed. You can't leave Tarsia with 0 builds in 01. It's impolite. So maybe Turkey is trying to point Russia at being anti-German.
I think Germany was playing games. I think he wanted the best of both worlds. Okay. Saren would be right, except if I let Russia have Romania and then I force myself into Armenia anyway, I haven't bought any goodwill. Any goodwill. Yeah. I think that Turkey has targeted Russia. I think he has every intention of going after Russia. I think he wanted to write a set of orders that gave him the ability to say, oops, sell some fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and get a second bite of the apple. Oh, wow, that was a good camera effect, wasn't it? Second bite of the apple. All right. I don't think Russia's going to fall for it. I think he jerked Russia off in the spring 01 moves, and then he did unjustifiable, nonsensical garbage in fall 01. I think Russia's going to go looking for a smarter, better ally.
And you think that might be Austria?
I think it ain't Turkey, and it's not the guy who waved the bill.
Squashy one says, "Oh yeah, go on, sorry."
I just said hi, Ed.
Hi, yes.
Big Adam for waving the bill.
Yeah, I was going to say you can't blame him. You can't accuse him of being a coward, really, though, because he was brave enough to allow us on here to do this. But yeah, Squashy says, not going to lie, taking Belgium, Holland, and Denmark and bouncing Russia out of Sweden feels like the most boss move ever as Germany. It's an easy way to stir up an EF, but still cool. Maybe not so boss if you then wave, but I'm not convinced we're going to see
If you were going to wave a build anyway, you were better off to not take Belgium.
Is it possible that? Just trying to think. Yeah, maybe he thought Burgundy was going to go to Belgium, but.
Well, remember what I predicted, okay? Remember what I predicted. I predicted Denmark's going to North Sea, okay? So word to Belgium might have been just to make sure England didn't get it. Because if England had got a second build, there'd be no slide into North Sea. So, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I think Ed is going to regret waving that bill.
Riaz says waving is overrated with a little winky face there, and he ought to know, having given up his power as England over France in the season 6 finals, when he didn't build that fleet Liverpool that was perhaps required to lay the hammer down, and yeah, maybe getting his own back here on commentary from last time around, where he was lambasted for his wave, and now he's lambasting Ed. But as you say, in a very polite way, as Riaz does.
I want to stop for just a second. I talked about it last time. Riaz is one of the nicest guys in the game. I was getting to it at the end of our last video, and technical difficulties cut us off short. And then when we realized we'd already done 3 hours, we stopped. Riaz had a birthday 2-3 days ago. Happy birthday, Riaz.
Birthday, okay? Belated happy birthday.
Yes. But I've talked a couple times now about what a nice guy Riaz is. Look at his Discord photo. Look at how happy he is with his wife. That's amazing.
I think he's fighting children. That's evildoer stuff.
Oh, I thought that was him with his. That's him with his.
I could be wrong, but
I thought that was a very loving, playful pose with him and his wife, just having fun, loving life. I'll take a look at it later when I can see
definitely a family man.
But whether it's him with his kids or him with his wife, look at what a laid back, fun, happy guy Riaz is. This is why everyone wants to ally with him.
Canadian, isn't it?
So I learned stuff from Riaz every time I talk to him, and very little of it has anything to do with diplomacy. It has to do with life.
He's a nice guy when he's not attacking me and demanding support from my one center Italy camped in Marseille. I can't give you Spain, man. I don't think I can. The final comment I want to highlight here is: do I smell a Central Power alliance? Asks to be. Well, Karthik, in my interview with him, was laying out how he would quite like to do this, this central triple. I wonder, maybe they all seem to be going in their various directions. I'd expected maybe a fleet from Germany, if that was going to be the case, and go after Russia. But
yeah, if there were a central triple, there'd definitely be a fleet build in Berlin. This is not going to be a central triple. Karthik has an excess of units, an excess of options, an excess of security, and a dearth of threats. At least one Austrian unit is going into the Alps. I don't know if it's going into Tyrolia. I don't know if it's going into Bohemia. Probably Bohemia, okay, because Bohemia got play on Germany and on Russia, stays away from Tyrolia, keeps Italy happy. But Karthik has too many units and too few threats. And one of those armies, it's going to end up on Ed's border.
So you don't think we'll see an O2 wave by Ed if he has the opportunity?
Ed's not getting to build in O2. Now he's got to build in his pocket. Okay, he's got to build in his pocket. Jordan, you gotta demand a bounce in North Sea, brother. You gotta demand a bounce in North Sea. Okay, and Ed's got to build in his pocket. So after you get your build in North Sea, you convince him, listen, we're allies. You've got to get me a build because I got to drop Fleet Liverpool to break the stalemate in the Atlantic. So, the only build Ed is getting is the build that he left in his pocket. So there's going to be no two build Germany next year. There's not. Zero chance of that.
Let's have a look at some artwork we've had, and you get your wish. You have made it into Lady Razor's artwork here, and it's great for me to witness this. As Lady Razor points out, this amazing charm offensive from Lex Luthor. You've been super nice to everybody, and it's freaking me the hell out.
Well, remember, man, PsyOps is all about messing with the head, and there's all kinds of ways you can do it. So I'm flattered. I'm flattered that Lady Razor. I'm flattered that Lady Razor drew a caricature of me. It makes me think I gotta examine the shape of my head, man. Because
there's only one Eggman here. Come on,
that's looking like a Saturday Night Live Coneheads episode there, and
your head is glistening like mine tends to do.
Well, it doesn't take a lot of physical exertion for me to do that. So the idea of me having a sweaty forehead. She might have gotten that from some of the footage of me on the beach. I don't know. But if it's to point out that I'm sweating my redemption, I'm not. I made joke of it earlier. My life has changed dramatically in the past 3-4 years. And I used to have a saying. The saying was, "What are the 2 healthiest words in the English language?" And my answer was, "F you." All right. And that was a motto, and I lived by it. And it was a poor motto. It's a poor motto. The most liberating words in the English language are not F you, they're F it. And if you can say F it and mean it, and appreciate the things that you got and enjoy them the best way you possibly can, that's the beginning of real freedom. And I got to F it. And, you know, it's also a lot easier for me to talk about diplomacy when I'm not in the game. It's a lot easier. So, but you know, I've gotten tons of real positive feedback, and it's real pleasing. It's very edifying for me to hear people say nice things about me and the things that I say.
I can tell you what, in my experience, are the two least healthy words in the English language, if you're interested.
Vote Lib Dem?
No, that's just common sense, right? It's in my experience, it's double helpings. And here we have quadruple helpings for
Four. Hey, I can make this. I can do this with my fingers. 4.
So he bounced Sweden. We don't know if he's got still designs on that because he didn't build that fleet. But yeah, Belgium, Holland, and Denmark, and he didn't even, he had, you know, so many, he didn't even want to use all his builds. But he looks very menacing and pleased with himself there.
I'm going to assume that Lady Razor drew that image before he waved a build.
I think that's right. I think that's right.
The most interesting thing about this graphic to me is, how does that shape look like Denmark?
I don't know which way up it's, but well, the thing is, Denmark's made of islands and stuff. It's difficult, right? It'll just be bits of Lego.
My problem is I don't have the soul of an artist. So anyway, all right. What's next?
What else we have? We have Russia getting clobbered by Turkey's shenanigans. Poor Tarsia. Having the bounce in Armenia with Turkey, and then Actor Black hitting him right in the ribs.
That picture's worth 1,000 words, and if we'd had that image last time when we were covering Spring on One, we didn't have to have a 2-hour-long episode. I could have just showed that picture and not talked about it for 20 minutes.
I love the way that John just looks very pleased with himself. Just what do you make of this, guys? But Lady Razor isn't the only artist we've got this season, and Max is reenacting what he's seen Mrs. Tarsia say to Tarsia about being so naive in his dealings with Turkey, and got bounced out of Sweden to boot. So yeah, stupid moves. Sleep on the couch now. So. Mrs. Tarsia,
look at that couch, man. That is definitely an IKEA couch.
It doesn't look that comfortable, especially to spend the night on, or maybe more than one night.
But Spencer, if you need a consult on any issue related to domestic relations, my number is still 859-DIVORCE. Give me a call, brother.
There you go. Maybe he can give you a discount. Who knows?
Now I can write off all this video blogging hardware that I purchased. Yes.
Right. Well, that's about all we've got prepared. Are there any sort of final thoughts, Eric?
Did we go through my predictions yet?
Yeah. Do we want to pop back and have a look at the rest of the map here?
We did all the predictions. I don't think we did all the predictions.
Okay.
So I think Ed is sliding into North Sea.
You think he's offering support into Sweden, then just?
Yeah, that's exactly what I think is going on. If England makes it into Sweden, then he'll probably do a convoy to Eddie. If he doesn't make it into Sweden, he'll take Eddie with the fleet. But if I'm England and Germany does do this in the spring, in the fall, I patch things up with France. I think we're going to end up with an EF. And I patch things up with France, if France lets me. And I use both my fleets, and I kick them out of North coming from English Channel.
I suppose you can always try the convoy, and if the fleet gets dislodged, you could just retreat in.
I don't think Jordan's willing to let go of France yet, because Germany hasn't done him wrong yet. The whole reason that Ed waived a build was so that he could get England and Russia to both kind of sleep on him. So Jordan isn't going to turn on Ed until it's too late, is my prediction. My moves for France, those are more my recommendation than a prediction. My whole thing of using Mayo to bounce West Med, that's something I do. I don't think a lot of other players would do that. I think a 2-unit attack on English Channel is much more likely, but It isn't going to amount to anything. I guarantee you Jordan's going to support English Channel, and Wales is, he tried the convoy. I've got him trying the convoy in my prediction. It's not going to make it. If he makes it, then he can support Brest to hold and keep it. So if he ends up losing Liverpool, who cares? If he loses Liverpool, he's losing it to a fleet.
But you mentioned Picardy earlier. Do you think it might be Brest this time then? That he tries the convoy to?
Yeah, he's gonna go to Brest, not because it's a more likely make, but because he doesn't really want to make it.
Okay. Yeah.
He needs to stay in Wales, or he's risking Liverpool.
Fair enough.
So yeah, you do something with the unit, because you don't just sit there with do nothing with your units. But that's a very, very low percentage move. The only thing there that matters is London supports English Channel. But I think I wish that Jordan would demand a bounce in North Sea here. This is what I would do. I would demand it. And what would happen to me is I'd go to Germany and say, I want a bounce in North Sea. And Germany go, oh man, I don't want to waste my units that way. And I'm like, well, it doesn't matter. I can't take that chance. I'm going. And if I go, I'm out of Norway. I'm not getting a build. I'm going to find something else to do with my units, and you might not like it. So you better give me the damn bounce. And then Germany says, nah, I'm not doing it. And I end up in North Sea. And that's not great either. But at least I'm not at jeopardy.
Yeah, I'm sure France is looking for a friend. If that was to happen, then I don't think France would need that much persuasion to, work with against Germany if that's what you really wanted.
Yeah, well, I'm not predicting fall 03 yet, or fall 02 yet. I'm predicting spring 02.
Do you think Piedmont is going to have a poke at Marseille, or could an unwanted support be tricksy?
Yeah, I'd probably do an unwanted support.
Clear out Iberia and try and,
There is a good reason to do the bounce. And that's if you're anticipating a German dislodgement of Burgundy. You don't want, you want to deny him that retreat to Marseille.
Yeah.
So Piedmont to Marseille is the most likely move there. An unwanted support, sure. If you know what the moves are going to be, yes. And if you can support Spain to Marseille to put them that much farther away from Portugal, so that Portugal has to get taken by the fleet, well, that just increases my odds of eventually getting into Mayo. And if Italy gets into Mayo, he's going to have a very good game. So, that's the other option there, is support Spain to Marseille. Puts them horribly out of position. But if you're expecting a German dislodge of Burgundy, you want to bounce him out of Marseille so that he can't retreat there. So I talked about Karthik could move a unit north. He could move a unit north, but these are your most likely moves here. These are your most likely moves. So
I suppose it depends on his diplomacy with Russia, doesn't it? more than anything
Yeah,
else.
I wouldn't write. I wrote the support order just to make it clear, but I'd actually do a cut of Black Sea. I think Conduit Gene is the most likely move. So I wouldn't worry about Khan supporting Bulgaria. I would go for the cut, and then if Turkey happens to move out of black, now I'm in Black Sea. So, but those are still pretty sound moves. Italy, I've got going full guns against France. He might lend a unit to Austria. It's tough to say. I think he's going to go full guns for France, though. Ed, if he's going, the reason I don't have him going into Burgundy, okay, is if he's going after England, he's not going to go after England and France.
No.
He's going to go after one or the other, okay? And I still think that waiving that build was a mistake. But having waived that build, I think you got to send Munich to Silesia. You have to. You got to drop Holland down to Ruhr, because
just shore up your borders.
There's too many things that could get done to you, and you're playing with a bunch of cagey guys, and you're the only guy on the board at 6. Somebody on this board is going to say, at this point, someone on this board is going to say, "Hey, we got to slow Ed." And anyone on this board saying, "Hey, we got to slow Ed down," besides Turkey, could potentially be a problem for Ed. If you were going to pick a winner right now, Wardy, if you're looking at this board and you say who's going to be the winner,
this might seem a cop out, but I kind of like Ed's position. I think he could find it that Jordan and Greg might not be able to get any F together, so I don't think he's got that much of a threat there. He's got time to sort of get himself in a defensible position. And just despite the wave, I think he looks pretty solid, to be fair. Want to sleep on me? Is that boring? Is that a boring answer?
No, not at all. Not at all. If I had to pick one player here that I think is going to do well, if I am right about Ed going into the North Sea, I like Greg's position very much. AI is probably better. And there's too many ways for Austria to get off to a good start that just kind of evaporates. I think that Turkey has screwed Russia and Turkey. I think that Ed has screwed himself. I think that Jordan overcommitted and underdelivered on that real hard open. I like Krill's position. I like Krill's position very much. So
yeah, he's not going to have a big problem from Turkey, I don't think. But he could end up with struggling to find a dot, against France. France looks as though he's got a handle on things.
Yeah. In rank order, I would say the positions I like most are Krill, then Ed, then Greg, then Karthik, John, then Jordan, then Spencer. So Italy, Germany, France, Austria, Turkey, or England, Russia. Yeah,
I think the thing that plays into Ed's hand is the personnel, right? In ENF, I don't know whether there's sort of two others in the East that sort of jar. Well, I mean, like John and Spencer might after their opening, but I still kind of think that.
Well, after you and I hit stop record, we need to go ahead and look at Spring 02 and see what's going down. But
see how wrong we are again.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to cheat the game, and us doing commentary is kind of its own game. And
Yeah,
I won't cheat the game. I won't look ahead. I won't. So,
yeah.
but we got to look at Sprigo too and see what goes down. But now, to our viewers, I want to extend an invitation. You can do it either in the comments section of the YouTube video, or you can come on to the Nexus Discord server for season 7 finals. And we'd like a suggestion, not for awardees, but just for topics for mock awards. Okay. I've already started my list of mock awards, and of course they're all mean-spirited and nasty. And we just can't have that. We can't have that. So if you want to make some suggestions for mock awards, we'll start doing a running commentary on who's in the best position for mock awards at the end of every fall season. Okay. Give us your suggestions. If you don't, we'll go with mine. Just realize they're going to be sardonic, sarcastic, critical, mean, and nasty. And
although it looks as though you've changed.
Yeah, but I haven't got that many good ways to mock people yet. I'm still, if I'm going to mock people, I'm still in my old mode, you know.
You're going to come out of this process as a Care Bear. I can tell. You're going to 17-17 your way without a stalemate line.
You know,
in your next game.
I would quit the 3 venues on the internet that I'm still allowed to play diplomacy on before I would ever become a Care Bear. Lady Razor, thank you so much for the artwork. You make me feel like I'm part of the process, and you have no idea how special that is to me after all these years. Thank you.
You need to get that framed. Well, yeah, the game, we're going to go and have a look at Spring 02 in a moment.
Our next show, we're going to recap Bravo, and Bravo is Boeing, and Boeing tells us how Karthik won his game and made it to the final board. And it will also educate Wardy as to what you do when Turkey offers to throw Italy a solo. Maybe he'll learn something.
Maybe I will.
I'm not going to make any bets because I'm already a quid in the hole.
Meanwhile, this game unpaused. Matt Krill is feeling rather better, so we're glad about that, Krill. And we shall be back soon with game semi-final B, as you say, and shortly after that,